Bourbon, one scotch, and one beer bottle. He glassed me, man. He freaking glassed me. Anyway, as we're doing this, this is the Afterfight Afterthought for the Tavaris Cloud and the Greg Campillo fight. And I watched it and I said, you know what, this Campillo guy gets robbed of a lot of things. So let me break it down, and obviously when you're looking at this, I break it down. I start out with the winner, who's the after fight, which is Cloud, and then I go to the loser, Campillo, who is the afterthought. And then it's Cloud coming in. He's got the great record. He's got everything going for him. People are thinking, wow, what's he going to do next? He's got good wins over, like with the Glenn Johnsons and the, some of the other older guys there, and Clinton Woods, and you start thinking, this guy's for real. He's the big dude, But then when you start going into it deeper, you have to say, well, Johnson was a little older, Woods was a little older, he couldn't take out Zuniga, so his power isn't really holding up to the bigger guys or the higher ranked guys. So how is he going to fare against them? Or how's he going to do against them? And you just don't know. And then you got Campillo over here, who's been robbed. A lot of his fights he's lost, but it's not like he's getting knocked out. He's losing split decisions, or majority decisions, things like that. So Shumanov, Murat, granted, I'm not a fan of his style, but at the same time, he does a lot to win, and he's just not getting the shake, and it's more than likely due to his lack of knockout power. He lands the shots, but he's not rocking the guys with the shots. They land clean as all heck, but they're just not doing the damage. And when I watch this fight, I've watched the entire thing, and I'm going to break it down. I got all 12 rounds right here, and starting out, obviously, it looked like Cloud was going to stop the fight in the first round. I mean, he knocked Campillo down twice in that round, and it looked like the ref was almost going to step in and stop it. Now, you could have argued and said, oh, well, that was an early stoppage, but if he was, it was kind of like, okay, I can see where this was going. And he expended a lot of energy there. I thought he carried over and won the second round as well. He was landing the combination punches and everything like that. Third round, I had Campillo actually landing the combos and the more solid shots. The fourth round I thought was very close. It was good back and forth between both fighters. I thought one fighter won the beginning of the round, or the first minute and 30, and then the second half was Cloud winning the second half of the round. So I scored that a draw. A lot of people don't score draws, but I do. That's how I roll. The fifth round, again, we saw Campillo outworking Cloud, and I gave that round to Campillo. In the sixth, Cloud was more active. It looked like he came to life and was outworking him. In the seventh, Campillo again was firing and landing the shots, and Cloud looked out of his element. He did not look comfortable in there. In the eighth round, more of the same. I had Campillo winning that round again. He was actually teeing off on Cloud. Very good round for him. And when he won the eighth round, it actually pulled it to 76-75 in my book. And that's with Cloud getting a 10-7 round in the first round. So he's within 1 point, and it's in the eighth. In the ninth, again, I thought he did enough, and he won the ninth round. And I had the fight even. In the 10th, I thought Campillo was still landing more shots and still pulling it out, and I gave him that round as well, and he takes the lead 95-94. But Cloud comes back in the 11th round. I thought he was more active. I thought he pushed the pace, and he changed the tide there, and I gave him that round. So it was 104-104. It was a draw at that point. And then in the final round, it was a very close round, but I thought Cloud pulled it out. I thought he was, for the first minute it was Campillo, but it looked like he stepped off the gas and let Cloud into the fight. Now, he tried to win it back with the last 5 or 10 seconds of the round, but that doesn't work in my book. He lost 2 minutes of the minute round, or 3 minutes of the round. So I gave that round instead of, if I would have gave it a draw, the fight would have been a draw. But I gave it to Cloud. So my final score was 114-113. Couldn't get closer. It was actually Campillo I had winning more of the rounds. I had Campillo winning 6 rounds to Cloud's 5. I had 1 round to draw. So without knockdowns, Campillo won this fight. He was the better fighter the entire fight. The 2 knockdowns are what decided it. Where do we go from here? Obviously, you have Cloud who can, speak up and say, hey, I should be fighting the winner of the Dawson-Hopkins fight, or I should be fighting whoever else is out there with the title. That thing is due to him. But realistically, I would love to see this rematch with Campillo. Now, over on Campillo's side, this is the 4th fight you've lost, bro. Close. You've got to do something. You've got to change something up in your game. You don't hit hard enough to take him out, so you're going to have to increase the pressure. You're going to have to do something with your fighting style, because what you're doing is not winning you the close fights. It's getting you there. You're sitting at the table. You've got your dish in front of you, and then someone takes your chicken leg. You see, you get so close to getting it, and then they take it right out of your mouth. It was there for you. He won the fight. I'm not on rounds. He did not win on points. And when you start looking at it, it's like you almost feel bad for him, but on the same token, it's his fighting style is hurting him. He needs to start boning up. He needs to get in there and start banging on people when he's got him hurt. His combos are nice, man. He goes to the body and whips him up to the head, and the uppercuts he was landing were very, very solid shots. But, it's missing something there. So please comment, rate, subscribe. Tell me what you thought about the fight, how you scored the fight. More than happy to discuss that with you and go back and forth with that. Like I said, we're going to go, what? Oh, we got a special 2-for? This is a 2-for video? Okay, we got Chris Arreola and, the guy that he beat up really quick there. Let me go to it really quick because it was kind of Eric Molina. Now, coming into this, obviously, you're worried about Chris Arreola and how dedicated is he to fighting, because he got down to 234, but then he's slowly 236, and then you see him stepping up 240. His weight is increasing as his fights go on again. It's like, oh, he had this revelation of I actually need to be in shape, and now he's not. And then before the fight, he weighs in at 245 pounds. So he's gained 11 pounds back from his low that was just like a year ago. So you're kind of wondering about that. And when you see him in the ring, he could lose those 15 pounds. So could I. I mean, you can get on there and slam me all you want, but I'm not a pro fighter anymore, or was I? I'm not getting paid to fight. I'm getting paid to teach, and I do a damn good job at it. Just saying. Anyway, and then you go over to Eric Molina, and he looks fit. He's at 228. Looks solid, but he looks scared. I'm telling you, when you look at his eyes, he looked kind of scared, like, hey, man, what am I doing here, bro? And that was one of the things, and this is by far the biggest fight he's ever been in, and it looked like the water was pretty deep. Going into it, though, the fight only lasted a round, but it was a good round. They were going back and forth, banging it out, throwing the hooks, and power, solid shots hitting. And Molina tags Arreola with a shot, man, and I'm telling you, Arreola was hurt. Like, literally, like, hurt. Knees wobbly, jello. Not Zab Judah jello, but jello. You know what I'm saying? Not Costa Zoo, Zab Judah, But he looked hurt. He was hurt in that round. And then he landed that massive right hand, and Molina just folded, man, and went down and was like, okay, I don't have to get back up again. He caught me with a good shot. I thought he could have got back up, but he chose not to. I don't blame him. If you the guy hit with that right hand, man, you get to go home. Nobody's going to question you. Just saying. So what is next on the list? I mean, you look at Molina, maybe he'll fight Chisora. Or maybe a Fury, maybe a David Price. And you could say the same thing for Arreola. When you start looking at it, I mean, do I think Arreola should be getting a title shot? No. Do I think he should have a rematch with Tomasz Adamek? Absolutely. Do I think he should maybe go up against a David Price? Yes. When Helenius gets healthy? Yes. Should he fight Tyson Fury? Yes. So there's a lot of nice fights out there that he needs. I still think he needs about 2 or 3 more fights before he gets another title shot. Because it's still fresh in my mind, the beating he took the last time he went in that ring against one of the Klitschko's. You see what I'm saying? That's still fresh in the mind. You can't just do that. I mean, I know they did it with Sam Peter repeatedly, but... And who else? John Ruiz? Yeah. And and those guys, but still, I mean, it's still fresh on the mind, and you still have to wonder about that. So that's my after fight afterthoughts for those two fights, and got a 2-for-1 on that one. Yeah, it still went like 10 minutes though. Anyway, please comment, rate, subscribe, let us know what you think, and yeah, this is Bigragu and Eduardo. We're out.